Hi, today at Entrepreneur, we are with Shalini Pasi, who happens to be an artist, a philanthropist, and also the founder of MASH India, and who has recently turned an author. Shalini, thank you for talking to Entrepreneur today.
Thank you for having me here, and thank you for taking your time to interview me.
So, Shalini, when did you feel the right time to become an author, and why this particular time?
So after the release of the series, there was so much interest, and I was doing lots of interviews, and as you know, and lots of podcasts, and so Penguin actually reached out to me. In fact, a couple of publications reached out to me to author a book, and I wasn't sure because I never thought that was my strong point, and. So I had conversations with few of them, and it was mostly like thanking them for thinking about me and trying to say no to them, because I really respect people who are able to write, and the writers, because I think it's like an artist, they express their words in paintings, and an author basically writes everything. So like a painting is worth 1,000 words, right? That's what we say. And we have this book now, The Art of Being Fabulous.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's a very light read, and it's got some amazing anecdotes, and I think there's lots for everybody. And you can always go back to lots of the anecdotes, because many of them actually you might read it and might not be relatable, but then some point of time it will be. So
okay. So, Shalini, referring back to the book, you talk about self-trust over validation. So, was there a particular period of time when you realized that, okay, self-trust matters more over validation?
So, I think we are not black and white. As we are human beings, there always will be shades of gray. So, I'm not like 100% I don't need validation, and I'm not like I'm 100% sure. There's always that 40, 60, 80, 20. And I think for me, self-trust is important, because honestly, I don't have the time or the bandwidth to, understand or to, to go by what people's expectations. So for me, it's about self-trust. And of course, as you do want validation, maybe 10%, 20%, but I don't let it govern me. Mm-hmm. It feels nice when everybody says good things or feels a certain way, but that is not the measure of how I want to live my life.
Shalini, wellness has really shaped your life, and particularly you speak about Ayurveda and food serving as medicine. So, going forward, how do you think people should look at wellness, and particularly Ayurveda, according to you?
What happens is that when somebody is ill, they go to the doctor. When somebody is when the situation is so bad, then we go to the doctor. What happens is that in our Indian culture and in Ayurveda, it is preventive medicine. That's what they've taught us. So we have a prevention, say for a minor something in the throat from a major thing. So I think for me, wellness, and I think for everybody else, it should be prevention. First of all, like you can like view what issues your parents are having or grandparents have had, and then you work on that. Suppose somebody has high cholesterol, so you can just have Kashmiri garlic, and that would really help them, rather than becoming, the cholesterol becoming so high and then you take the medicine for it. So I feel that wellness is a prevention. So you have to, medical in India now is very advanced, but we are not focusing enough on prevention. We are fixing the problem that we have, but we are not anticipating our health issues and addressing them.
Sure, but many people still look at it as a form of luxury rather than self-care.
Actually, medical would be more luxury, because if you look at the hospitals, and they are fully crowded, whereas a ginger juice, adrak ka juice, garlic, sweet potato, haldi is available to everybody, almost everybody. They have access to simple things like curd or rice water, which is thrown from the rice. That I think is available to everyone. And there are vegetables like karela, which are very potent, neem ke patte, kadi patta ke patte, these are available. It's just that people need to be informed कि ये पेड़ नीम का पेड़ है. Like I don't think the younger generation, many of them don't realize कि नीम है ये कर ही सकता है.
So, being restricted, saying no to alcohol, saying no to late night parties, and a lot of social expectations.
Yeah.
So, being a socialite, I mean, how do you keep the two different?
Well, the best thing about me is that you think I'm a socialite. I actually don't go anywhere. Isn't that amazing, the illusion that I've created?
So when you were shooting for Bollywood Wives and Fabulous Lives, the show for Netflix, I mean, how did it take a toll on your health, your wellness regime, and how did you keep yourself focused on that, the way you have led your life so far?
Yeah, exactly. With the diet, I consume a lot of raw foods. So when I was traveling to Mumbai, that became an issue. Because the quality of the vegetables is definitely way better in Delhi. You know, if you were to consume anything raw, it's definitely, fruits are amazing in Bombay because I think of the grapes coming from Nasik, but the vegetables are definitely better in Delhi definitely for raw consumption. And then again, when I was traveling to Mauritius, of course, I had my own team which was taking care of everything.
And you've been promoting artists all throughout your foundation. And I mean, going forward, where do you see, the kind of artists which you would further want to promote, or you think that they'll further write the new chapter of India?
So I think my weakness right now is that I don't know much about Indian crafts. I know fairly well, but not as much as I'd like to know. And that's the area I'd like to focus on, because I think crafts is something that we really need to now look at, because the younger generation are finding it not profitable enough to do the craft that their forefathers have been practicing. And worldwide, everything is now machine made. And in India, we still have craftsmen who are just, they're amazing. Mrs. Ambani just opened, not just like a couple of months ago, opened this amazing space called Swadesh in Mumbai, and I had the opportunity to visit it, and it was really an eye-opener. The craft, like they have everything in Swadesh, from textiles to woodwork to inlay. So, I think we need more initiatives like that, and that is what I'm also hoping to do.
Okay. You speak a lot about wellness and food as a medicine. So, did any point in time did you feel like becoming an entrepreneur in the wellness space?
So when I started my art foundation, so many of my friends messaged saying, "Wow, I'm so happy you're starting this organic beauty thing." I said, it's not a beauty thing. It's not a beauty and wellness thing. It's an art foundation. Like, but we were hoping you would, do something in that field. I said, listen, I'm not a qualified doctor, and this is my passion, and I experiment a lot with my own diet and with my own skincare and hair, and I said, I cannot put you all through that. So they said, please put us through that. I said, that.
Okay. Talking about your love for art, what defines your choice of art and the kind of art you collect and showcase?
Yeah. So for me, I think art and design is a very integral part of my life. I wanted to be an artist and an architect, and I love architecture more than I love art. And I'm very, very passionate about architecture. And I think for me, art is, it's like how I relate to a piece of work, what it makes me feel, the time it takes me back to.
Okay.
So it's all of that, and it's a culmination of so many things, of memories, of, And also I study a lot of the artists and their practices, and sometimes a certain work doesn't hold everything, but for me, I'm very particular about the work that I collect. So it should have all the elements that I just mentioned.
Okay. So which are your current favorites right now?
So my current favorite, I think all-time favorite, is definitely Ram Kumar's work.
Okay.
And I do enjoy his work. This is also a lovely artist, Alex Kersey. And the work is actually, it's all different kinds of wood.
Okay.
And the work actually symbolizes China taking over Tibet. And basically the Tibetan people dressed in Chinese finery. So it's a beautiful work, but it's so powerful and meaningful. I mean, if person came and saw it, they would say, "Oh, how beautifully crafted the work is." It is also very powerful and meaningful. So for me, technique is very important, and visually, if I'm drawn to the work, then I look at the meaning of the work, and then it sort of makes it more meaningful.
And how much do you relate yourself with the word fabulous? I mean, your series, of course, had that word, the book also, and you as a personality also, I mean, carry that fabulousness.
Well, the thing is that I can only aspire to be fabulous. You have to keep reminding yourself that you're fabulous, fabulous. We all have to do that, right? We all have to, we all have to just say, okay, come on, bug up, come on. Because when you look around, when you see, like, okay, I have to get on. If I'm inspiring people, I have to get inspired myself, right? So, yeah, and also people gave me a lot of, all the people around the world, so many women, all the DMs, the long messages gave me a lot of strength, So it was, if I was giving them strength, they were giving me more strength. So I think everybody has the capability of being fabulous. And yeah.
And lastly, a lot of business leaders are our audience. So, I mean, if you have to teach them the art of fabulousness, I mean, what would be your advice?
I think no opportunity, I think no, every learning, everything that you do, even if it's not successful on paper, there's a learning. So for me, like there have been times where I've learned things, where I've joined an online course but not been able to complete it because my son was very small, but the learning remained with me, right? I was studying fashion design in JD Institute in House Cars, and just I used to do it. I used to go for classes when I was in college.
Okay.
And just on the side. And some days I would go to Triveni to paint. I couldn't finish. I couldn't get I couldn't probably give the last exam or something, or maybe some points were left because I got engaged. I'd never got the certificate. But that doesn't change, right? That doesn't change the education or the experience that I received. So sometimes the certificate or the validation is not important. I've already gained everything. 1 year course is nothing, but it taught me a lot. And I think I've carried that with me, and I think I've always believed that learn. Okay, even if you cannot commit for like 6 months, at least do it. At least do 3 months.
And lastly, which term do you relate the most with? Artist, philanthropist, author, a shepreneur, or a digital star?
Artist, I think.
Okay.
Artist.
Okay.
What do you relate me to?
Quite versatile you are.
Versatile, yeah. Eclectic is the term I started using for my interiors when I finished this house, and now eclectic is everywhere. Everybody uses it. So eclectic, I think.
Okay. Thank you. On that note, we conclude.
Thank you so much. Thank you.